Date within your standards. Date a woman who has similar standards as you. What that means is what you expect in a relationship, what you expect to provide, you guys have to be on the same page. And if you're not, it will not work, especially if someone's not willing to compromise on those values. It is not the time to get pissy. It is not the time to let your ego step in the way and be judgmental. It is not the time to try to change someone's expectation of what they'll accept in a relationship. It is your job to either step up your standards to be with the person that you really want to be with and know that you're going to have to set that for the remainder of the relationship, or move on.
We always talk about ego when it becomes the topic of men, but we never really talk about ego when women say, I'm not letting go of my standards. I want a man that makes just as much as I do, if not more. He's got to make $250,000. Maybe you should let that go. No, you're not going to make me settle. That's ego.
The texting is so dry. I wish we texted more. You shouldn't be texting a man. Y'all aren't pen pals. He should be making plans with you over text. That's all it's for. Unless you're long distance, texting all day and trying to build a connection over text is not going to work long term. You're setting yourself up for failure. You've been warned.
A woman in the comments said, my boyfriend and I had to stop texting all day when we moved in together because we ran out of stories and things to say when we were physically together. Why in the world would you be texting all day and you live together? Sounds like another issue here.
We need to start using our pretty privilege for more than just a drink at the bar. Like, that is cool and great, but time and place. Next time a man walks up to you and tries to ask for your number or tell you you're pretty, ask him what his occupation is. Like, what do you do for work? Oh, he's a mechanic? Oh, great, I need new tires. Oh, great, I need an oil change. Oh, great, I need my windshield wipers replaced. Because men are never going to be afraid to walk up to you and ask you for your number, so why should you be afraid to ask them for something in return? You need to start using that face card for more than just a drink, because a drink is fine, but what does it do for you? You know what I mean? Like, how does it make your life easier? 4 new snow tires would make your life easier. Say he works at a furniture store. Okay, you could use a new mattress. Didn't you say you wanted a new couch? Start using it. Start thinking outside of the box. You pay with your face card. He pays with his real card. It's just that simple. We need to start getting more creative because these men are getting more creative. They're never going to be afraid to come up to you and ask you for your phone number. So don't be afraid to ask for a new dining room set. What's wrong with that?
But what happens if you don't actually have the face card that you think that you do?
So it just occurred to me that it must be very nice to be a man, because my husband was on Facebook Marketplace and he was like, oh my gosh, this guy is selling all these tools. I want them. I'm like, okay. Message the guy. He just pulled up. He went into his house. He's in his house right now, just looking at the tools. Are you not afraid? I would never go into a woman's house, a grandma's house, a dog's house, alone. He had no fear in him. He just walked right into this man's house and was like, yeah, let me look at these tools. Do they not have that in their brain that people might kill them? Because I'm afraid of anybody. And he wasn't afraid at all. Oh, I see him though, don't worry. And he's a talker. So I'm sitting here, whoa, sorry about that, for 20 minutes because I'm pretty sure they are now friends. Yeah. All right. Oh, they're waving at me. Hello. They're now friends.
Well, statistically speaking, most men aren't criminals. So it's a good assumption that the man that he's walking into the house with isn't a criminal. And also, you have a lot of men that know how to read other men. And so they can kind of tell, hey, this dude's vibe is off. This is what men be telling you when you're trying to pick a man and you pick wrong. Hey, maybe go ask a man that knows so he can steer you away from the men that are not good men.
God, I'm traumatized them at the gym so much. Like I said, not to be weird, Is this your last set on that machine? Baby, that's not weird. You're a victim.
And these be the same women talking about, why don't men approach anymore?
I was best friends with this girl for years, and she was talking to the same guy for forever, and one time I asked her how old he was, and they both started laughing. He was a child, yeah. He was a minor, he was a minor. And everyone still to this day tries to make me feel bad about it. They're like, oh, you lost a friendship over that? I won't be friends with someone who does something like that.
So was she ever sent to jail for that, or she's still out on the streets? Because that's so dangerous, we got to get her up out of here.
I'm a 28-year-old that works in New York, lives in Jersey City, and here are my top 3 dating non-negotiables. Number 1, and it's a very strong one, and I understand people who may disagree with it. I do not date men who do not have a bachelor's degree. I tried to do it once, and I swear to God, my eye was twitching the entire time. Can't do it. Sorry. You at least need a bachelor's degree. Yeah. Not sorry about it. Number 2, I do not go on dates unless a man hits me up prior with full details. So like time, place, any details I need to know about the date beforehand, at least 3 days prior. You're not going to hit me up with half-assed plans the day of. Let that sink in, ladies. And you're probably like, what is the justification of that? I don't like type B people. I am very type A. So you're not going to have me rushing and try to figure anything out the day of. It's not going to happen. Number 3, and I think it's honestly something that's more new in the past 2 years. If you're not pre-exposed to West Indian culture, I can't date you. So that's not me. You have to be West Indian in order for me to date you. Like, you very much so can be a European man, but you need to have some knowledge about my culture, and you have to be willing and able to learn my culture, because sweetheart, I'm Trini to the bone. You're gonna have to learn.
The epidemic of men being lonely and not being able to find a woman that wants them is so funny to me, because it takes just even an ounce of reflection to find the answer to that question, and they are never able to do that. They're never able to do that, even in the literal sense of looking in the mirror, or in the theoretical and metaphorical sense of looking at the way that they are as a person and why those attributes are not attractive. They are literally someone who cannot look around their room and see dirty dishes, dirty clothes, a messy room lying around all over the floor, crumbs, dirt. They don't have a job, they don't have a car, they don't have ambition, they don't care about their hygiene, they don't care about their family, they show no motivations, they show no drive, they are not romantic, nor are they affectionate, and yet they question, why does nobody want me?
Somebody in the comments said, what does your barber do for work?
I basically lost my boyfriend to manosphere content, and that was the beginning of the end. I didn't know it though. One day I came home, I was in my vanity room. Okay, I have a room just for myself with my clothes and my makeup. In that room, I have a TV. One day, my ex, he comes in my room where I'm decompressing, mind you. And he goes on my TV and he says, baby, I want you to watch this creator with me. Okay. And I said, oh, okay. Because at this point, me and him have been together for about a good 3 years. So I feel like when he was suggesting content to me, is because he thought that I also might enjoy it. So I said, oh, okay. What type of content does he make? And he says, well, he comes on his platform and he invites women on there and he basically argues with them. And I shall not. The first question that came out of my mouth after he said that was, is he gay? Because in my mind, I don't know an actual real man who goes out about his way to argue with a woman just to tell her about herself. Because in my reality, okay, that don't happen, right? I didn't grow up with men who were around me that did that type of shit. And the ones that did do that type of shit, they were gay. So that's why I asked that question. He starts to laugh and he's like, nah, he's not gay. It's just that he likes to debate. He likes to go back and forth with the women and tell them how they're wrong. And I was like, okay, just go ahead and put it on. This one put on Kevin Samuels. Mind you, I did not know who the hell he was at that point. And most people didn't know who he was at that point because he didn't blow up yet. He puts him on. And mind you, I'm just listening because I'm not watching. I'm taking off my makeup and I'm hearing the content. I'm just like, I look at my ex at one point. I'm just like, can you take him off my TV, please? So my ex just starts to laugh and he's like, oh, well, you don't like him? I'm like, hell no, I don't like him. And then I start to like question him, like, why the would I like him? So fast forward, me and my ex get into an argument. So we get into this fight and basically he asked me why I wouldn't do something, like, or why I wasn't like taking him serious or paying attention to him about something she was trying to say. I can't really remember, but I told him I cannot take you seriously because you don't pay any of my bills. That's why I'm not taking shit you're saying seriously. This mom say this is why women end up alone.
So we talk about arguing over, well, I don't know, a man that sits there and argues. Well, a man wouldn't have to argue if you would shut up and go about your way. Does that make sense? When dad says, go in there and wash the dishes, maybe a couple rounds, if that. Well, daddy, I don't. Get your behind in there and wash some dishes. Well, you heard what I said. And then the next word that's going to be said is going to be felt, if you catch my drift. So it's not going to be a whole lot of talking. But if men did that to you, that would be a crime. That's why men have to sit here and say, no, we're establishing a boundary. No, we're establishing a boundary. No, we're establishing a boundary. And push back against you because you think that you can buck the system.
I in the beginning hated it so much. I did not sign up for that. I didn't want kids. I didn't want to get married. I thought I was going to be career girl and that's it. I didn't know that he was going to end up playing basketball. He said he wanted to be a high school basketball coach. I thought I was gonna be like the girl out there getting it. So I didn't know. I just didn't think it was gonna be a thing. I thought we would be friends. Yeah.
Did you ever have anything in high school at all, or it was legit just friends?
No, just friends. Just friends. Yeah.
I get what you're saying of you never saw him as something, but I'm when you look back, is there any memory that you're like, maybe there was something or
no? No, never.
Imagine being the desire of many women and the envy of many men, only to be met with belittlement, disrespect, and hidden jealousy by an ungrateful wife. You can give a woman the world, and still, it's not enough.
You know, now that I think about it, didn't she say something about wanting to be an actress or something like that? Or Steph saying he met her and she wanted to do the Hollywood thing? Yeah, just confirmed it. She said, I think they said they met in LA or something like that at a whatever it was, and she was going to move out there to start acting or something. And that crashed and burned. What do you know? That dream died on the vine. What do you know? But all jokes aside, so she, because Steph is my boy, I'm not going to disrespect your wife. I'm just going to say, maybe, I don't know, man. We always talk about protecting each other and looking out for each other. I don't know why this doesn't apply to women. I'll say that.
How old are you?
I'm 15.
And would people think that you're younger or older?
I always get told I look younger.
How old do you think she is?
25.
25? Okay. She's actually 15.
You're having me on. Absolutely not.
No. And how old are you?
18.
How old do you think she is?
24.
24?
Yeah.
She's actually 18.
No way. She's 18?
Yep. And how old are you?
I'm 14.
And would people think that you're 14? You sure?
Yeah, I know.
And would people think that you're older or younger?
Older.
How old do you think she is?
16.
And how old are you?
I'm 15.
And would people think that you're older or younger?
Younger.
How old do you think she is?
She looks quite old, I don't know. I'd say 19?
She's actually 15.
15.
And how old are you?
14.
And would people think that you're older or younger?
Younger.
How old do you think he is?
33.
33? Whoa, okay. He's actually 14.
He's 14?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And how old are you?
I'm 17.
And would people think that you're older or younger?
Maybe a lot older, a little bit.
How old do you think she is?
12.
12? There's no way. And how old are you?
I just turned 14. 14?
How old do you think she is?
I would say like 20.
How old are you?
I'm 18.
And would people think that you're older or younger?
I think people think that I'm older because I'm 5'10".
Rage bait. Rage bait 20 out of 10.
Okay, so I am a plus size girly and I'm on Hinge. And last night I was giving my Hinge like a little, okay, sorry, that was gross. A little revamp, like redoing my pictures. I don't know, it was just time for a refresh. So I took a screenshot of all my pictures, put it into ChatGPT, and I was like, what do you think of these? And she approved, but she gave me like a new order, like how to rearrange them, which by the way, highly recommend because she ate. But I was like, okay, be honest, like do these pictures accurately show what my size is? Because I just have this, and I know that I'm not alone because I've seen other plus size girls talk about this, like this insecurity or fear that you're catfishing when like you're literally not. Like I have multiple full body pictures, but it's just like a fear that you're going to show up on a date and a guy's going to be like, oh my God, like you're huge. Anyway, so I was like, do these pictures accurately show my size? And chat was like, yeah, especially this photo, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, like easy. And then it was like, do you want me to tell you like the second best photo that accurately describes your size? No, I don't. I think we're good. I think that'll be good for the night. Thank you.
You know, one of the comments that was made on this video scares me. So somebody in the comments says, girl, I feel you, but ask your friends, not AI. She responds, my friends won't be as honest, I fear. And therein lies the problem. Accountability.
This is a sentiment that a lot of men have. Like, hey, we get it. You're angry. You have a right to be, but like you're lashing out to your oppressor and then we're mad at you. So we're going to fight back and everything's going to get worse. So that's why women should not say that they ever hate men or anything bad about men ever. It hurts your own movement. It causes damage. It drives good men away. But I want you to pause for a second and really think about what you're saying the oppressed group has to do. To expect the oppressed group to behave perfectly, have absolutely no emotions or emotional outbursts, is insane. It also doesn't work. It's been done before. It's still being done by a lot of women today. And it changes absolutely nothing. It guarantees that things will never change, and your daughters and their daughters, and honestly, and sons too, will be subject to all the same misogyny that hurts our society. Do I think being angry and saying I hate men is helpful? Of course not. But I've heard people of color say, I hate white people, and I can like realize that they don't actually hate white people for being white. They're saying, I hate what white people keep doing to them. It's just like a wild take to be like, hey, oppressed group, you're totally allowed to be upset, but like only in ways that make us feel comfortable. Like, feel free to fight against the system, but like really calmly and quietly in a way that I can totally ignore if I don't like it. I'm totally with you, but I am going to continue centering myself at all times. Again, do I think saying I hate men is helpful? Of course not, but I also totally understand where it's coming from. Whenever men are like upset that a woman would say that, they just show how little awareness they have, because to think that that's like some overreaction to what's happening to women is crazy. It is not an overreaction. If anything, it's an underreaction. If you hear a woman say, I hate men or all men or something like that, and it makes you angry, I want you to pause and go, I got a lot to learn, because that should not be making you that angry if you knew about what was actually happening.
Let me go ahead and stop you there. Because as a black man, we shouldn't be saying, I hate white people. End of story. So let's now take that same concept and say, women shouldn't be saying, I hate men. Full stop. Let's stop doing it. Say, man, I really don't like when you guys do this. Or this guy did this to me and I really did not like that. Man, this type of woman is really doing this and I really don't appreciate it. This type of guy is doing this and I really don't appreciate it. How about that? How about that? Right? What men are trying to say is, you're putting me on the team with them and I don't belong to that team. Yeah, but the good men can see. Yeah, sure they can. But as somebody who's saying that they have effective communication, then they probably going to ask you kindly, well, why do you say that? How come you just don't say that? Well, because it is this. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. I mean, if you want a man to stop saying stuff to you and he keeps on doing it, how are you going to feel? Oh, I know what he means. You're going to feel this. But some women are going to come, well, I know what my man means. Women in the oh, that's weaponized incompetence. He don't need to be saying that. Oh, girl, he don't respect you. That's what they're going to say. It's the same thing. If you're saying something and you know good and well somebody done told you, hey, maybe don't do that. I don't know about this, right? And you think that you have the license to continue saying it, but then you get mad at the man for coming back and saying, okay, you gonna disrespect me to my face? I'm gonna do it back. Well, that ain't a real man. Now, see, if he was a real man, you would allow me to continue doing whatever I was doing. No, just get out of my face and stop saying that. And if you keep on doing it, I got jokes too. I can say the same thing too. And I know you're not gonna like it.
One thing I've noticed is I absolutely do not like is when people think I like a guy and he's like he's cute, like, and I mean like he's becoming a man, you know? Like, you know, I get it. We're in our 20s. Not everybody's going to just look like a full-grown man. Of course not. But I'm also at an age where I'm not in my younger 20s, right? So I don't want anything that is in that area. And I just don't want a man that when you look at him, it's like, oh, you know, he's such a cute little guy. Look at this young man. If it's giving puppy, I don't want it. I don't want it. I know the feeling that courses through my body when I see a grown man. Okay? And I'm not just talking about in the way that he looks. It's in the way that he walks, talks, and carries himself. He handles business and he's strict. Okay? I don't want anything else. Okay? You know by looking at him that he grows a beard that can connect. You know he probably has to shave once a day. I like my man grown. Okay? I like looking at him and feeling a little dumb, okay? And I'm feeling like maybe I should be quiet. Maybe I should shut up. And it's not to say that he doesn't want to hear me talk. He loves to hear me talk, but I just feel like I just want to stand here and be in awe. And know at the end of the day, if I need help with something, it's handled. He's going to take care of it. And usually when I date a guy that has that cutesy little younger guy, look like, oh my gosh, he's becoming a man. He literally admires me. But I'm going to be honest with y'all. Admiring and still not taking the initiative to do things, he's always going to feel like he's finding himself. I'm not finding myself. I'm not in that stage, y'all. I know what I want. And because I know what I want, I have what I need, I'm going to handle business. They admire me, but they're not going to do what they need to do to take the initiative. Okay, I need to be in my soft girl era. I don't need to be holding his hand through every damn thing. That's not what it's giving. I'm not trying to help him find his way in life. I'm not. I'm sorry. If you don't know what you want to do right now, if you have trouble with staying on top of things, planning, just handling things for yourself, I guarantee y'all, he is not going to know how to help you out with anything as well. He's falling apart in his own life. Like, I don't think a lot of people notice that. Like, I pay attention to how people handle themselves in every situation. But anyways, I digress. Other than that, like it follow for more, child.
You know, honestly, if women actually wanted a strict man, then they would be in a relationship already. A man to really walk, talk, and be masculine, they'd already be in a relationship.
I am going to be absolutely flamed for this, but I'm going to tell you guys the truth. Women can say something that you feel is very disrespectful, but low-key, I know what she's doing is bad, but you guys don't understand that she's doing it because she likes you. So one thing that a lot of women will do is they will tell you something like, oh, you know, I'm talking to a guy, or I'm texting another guy. Why would she tell you that? Think about it. Why would she tell you that? Would she really tell you that because she's trying to screw you over? Or is she telling you that because she wants to see the reaction that she'll get from you, right? If you don't give her a reaction to it, it's all like, oh my gosh, he's attractive. But if you're all like, nah, she's so out of line for that, like, why is she entertaining other... Let me ask you again, why would she tell you that? Why would she tell you that she's talking with another guy when she's literally talking to you? She wants that attention of you getting emotional and jealous, okay? Nah, bro, but she was out of line. I need to call her out right now. No, just ignore it, seriously. If you don't want to put your focus on it, don't talk about it. Don't bring it up. Trust me, it'll make you... Is my camera blurry? It'll make you, like, confident and masculine. No, but why is she even talking to other guys in the first place? Did I say she was sleeping with them? No. Like, whenever women say that they're talking to another guy, y'all immediately think, oh my gosh, you know, she must be doing this and that. No, like, actually think about it. Clearly she finds you attractive, right? Clearly she's talking with you. So she's mentioning another guy because she feels comfortable. She's feeling a little playful. And like, you don't catch on to it because you're a less experienced guy, let's be honest. But a very experienced guy, he's gonna know it's not a big deal because it's all like, okay, well, I'm confident in myself, so why would I care? Right? I'm focused on you, baby. I don't give a shit about this other guy because in the end, you're going to commit to me and you're not going to be talking to him. But if you put importance on it, like even if you think about it, women can feel that. And then it's all like, oh, right? Let's just be honest. Most women are not loyal in the beginning, even good girls. You don't meet her on day one and all of a sudden she's not interested in other guys. Like, no, women are not attracted to looks like that. They don't fall in love through that. They fall in love through your personality, and then when they see that they want you, that's when it's gonna only be you. She's gonna find other guys or another guy attractive in the beginning, but y'all just gotta build that connection and chemistry, and then you'll be good. It's what humans do. When I'm coaching is in my bio.
Jenna, no, little sister. If she's doing this, she's gotta heal. She needs to heal and she needs to rest up and get better.
Genuinely keep that to yourself. Like, I don't want to see you crying. I don't want to see you sad. Like, okay, something upset you today. Don't tell me. Don't look at me for like a hug, a shoulder to cry on, because I ain't going to be there.
Fellas, I don't know about y'all, but they ain't got to tell me twice. Not two, not de, not dos, not, how you say that in Russian? I don't know, but that's besides the point. The fact of the matter is, I never fell for this propaganda. When they was trying to push that, tell men, oh, y'all need to open up more. You got to be a little more emotionally intelligent. We like softer men. It's so beautiful when a man cries. Who do you think you fooling?
I cannot stand when a guy comes up to me and tries to tell me his feelings and open up to me. And I already know y'all gonna be like, this is why men don't. I don't care. I don't care. I put this shoulder up and I put this shoulder up and I drop it. I never cared about a man crying.
Fellas, the civil war is upon us and there has to be a winner. It's unfortunate, but there has to be a winner. That's the only time this is going to come to a cease. And we are going against like that. But the best part about it is because they run their mouth so much, they're going to give us all the answers we need. I'm not saying to suppress your feelings. I'm saying go seek professional help if you really need somebody to talk to. However, passing that on just to some girl that you talking to, some girl that you only been dating for a little while, don't do it. Cut the pillow talking out, all that extra. Don't do it. They're using that as ammo.
You guys will literally open up to and be like, so this is what happened in my past. Baby, I actually don't care. Like, whenever a guy tells me about his past, I genuinely associate that with him wanting to be done dirty. Like, you're willingly telling me everything that, all your trauma, like, I am shiesty. I'm going to use that against you. I'm going to use that in you against an argument. Don't tell me about your issue. Because I will use that. You're never gonna go a day, a night, an hour, a second without hearing your worst memory. Because you told me that. I didn't ask for that. I didn't ask for all that.
You know what? To the untrained eye, can easily make someone upset at this video, but I am in true appreciation of that young lady. I am in so much appreciation because, to be frank, she's being honest. And you can't be mad at him. I told you straight up, hey, look here, my boy. Don't tell me about your trauma, because I don't give a f. And if you do decide to tell me anyway, I'm probably going to use it against you. So it's in your best interest to keep that to yourself. The stage is set. We know how to move. So now when we use her for recreational purposes only, As long as you keep it G up front and tell, hey, look here, sweetheart, I'm never going to be the guy you want me to be. I'm here for a good time, not a long time. If she ever has anything to say, play that video back. She should understand. But like in any other video, of course, you know, ain't nobody going to listen to me. I'm just a normal guy. Gotta keep the change.
Case in point. Case in point. Men keep on telling y'all, these modern women, they're not all the way there. Their mind is gone. They're losers. And they think it's cool to be a loser.
I just came across a post that a man made where he was saying that 85% of women are no longer interested in dating. And he was asking women to comment and, you know, explain like, why is that? And there was some good comments in there, but one in particular caught my attention because this lady said, well, men were taught strategy and women were taught romance. And I was just like, ding, 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 ding. Because that's so true, right? And I feel like men are always kind of like acting out of self-interest. And I think that women have like that romance bubble has almost burst. And now we are also acting on our own self-interest. And I think that we are starting to find that a lot of our self-interests actually don't align with men. Like they just don't. And it's just, I don't know, it's nice to just have peace.
You know, it's really, really interesting to sit around as a married man, watching people have their takes about like the dating scene. It really makes me want to foster some type of a group where single people can get together and just have conversations with a level head though, because some of these conversations are, they just seem very, very one-sided, and that's going to be coming from the man's side, it can be coming from the woman's side. And I want to see a solution to this, because at some point we got to put our sons out into the world. And if this is what it's looking like now, it kind of doesn't give me a lot of hope for the future. You know, I want them to be able to grow up and date and have people who mirror them with level heads. She says that men were taught strategy, but women were taught romance. Well, see, the thing is, I think for the most part, children really aren't taught dating in relationship with their parents, right? From their parents. They're usually taught from what they see on TV. And I think the majority of people have watched the same Disney movies, fairy tale movies, and have gotten the same dose of romance and strategy for the most part. And the thing is this, men may have been taught strategy, and it may have been a situation to where it serves their self-interest. But the thing is, romance isn't for the man. That's for the woman, and it serves the woman's self-interest. So at all times, both sides are acting in their own self-interest. Because when you think about romance, it's really based upon what the man is doing for the woman and what the woman is, because the woman is the receiver of the romance. Mm-hmm. The man doesn't receive the romance, but the man has to be taught romance so that he can give it to the woman in the way that she wants to receive it. Right? So that is a part of the strategy. But women are also taught strategy.
They're taught how to get a man to give them romance.
Right. And not just romance, gifts and money and all of these different things. So, you know, both sides are taught the same things or the same concepts, but in different ways. So I just want us to get to a point to where we can grow past these types of conversations and just realize that for the most part, both sides are really the same, but in different ways. I understand that sounds like it doesn't make sense, but we both have the same issues and we're doing the same thing to each other, but with different tools for the most part.
What I would really like is 30, 40, 50 years from now to take a poll of the people who are now saying, you know, they don't want a relationship because it's too much hassle. They don't want to deal with the inconvenience. I would like to know in 30, 40, 50 years if they feel the same way, if they feel like they made a sound decision, if that was truly what they wanted. Because, and I've said it before, I think a lot of times people are saying this because relationships have failed and they're hurt and they're trying to guard themselves. And it's easier just to say, I don't want this, than to admit I want this, but I'm not getting it. And so instead of continuing to try, I'm just going to take myself out of the race.
I like what you're talking about. Basically, I think with a lot of women in modern society, they only see it from their perspective. And the man is trying to tell you, and this goes for a lot of dudes that have been married, when they're saying, no, I'm actually doing stuff around the house. Yeah, you might be, but you ain't doing enough. And then you keep on chopping down the things that he does. Oh, well, we can hire that out. We can find somebody. Well, no, we can't because we don't have the money. Well, if you work hard enough, then we can make the money to do it. But we're not making the money to do it. Like, insults aside, we're not making the money to be able to do it. So I'm doing it. Yeah, but you're not even doing a good job. My daddy, your daddy's not here. Your daddy doesn't pay the bills here. Yeah, well, I just feel like if you're not going to do it right like I want it, like I've seen it done, you know what? At the end of the day, I'm just trying to help you to be better. No, you're not. You're actually helping me to be worse, because you're putting me in a my mental state in a terrible place. Not to say that you're forcing me to be there, but as my wife, you should be influential in my life. So the things that you're saying to me influence me, and they influence my mood. They influence how I act. I know I'm supposed to come in here and set the tone, but sometimes modern women take digs at men over and over and over again over a period of years, and men never say anything about it. But the first time a man bites back, the first time a man throws something out there, all of a sudden she crumbles, because she's not used to getting pushback from that man. She's used to that man allowing her to say crazy stuff, off the wall junk, that she just continues to do it. She just loses all respect for the man. She don't respect what he does around the house. She don't respect his job. Nothing about him does she respect. And she gets to clowning with him. And so when the man says, you know what, let me start dogging you out a little bit, then all of a sudden you want to leave. I'm not happy here. And that's usually the way it tends to go. But in a lot of these situations, it started with you being disrespectful. It started with you insulting that man, not having an appreciation for what he does. Oh, well, y'all are only taught strategy on how to get a woman, strategy on how to keep a woman. Just the clip in there somewhere, I was reacting to where a woman was talking about buying flowers from Kroger or Publix is not enough. Yo, you can save those little cheap flowers. Don't buy me those. Go to a floral shop. It's the effort behind it. And what if I bought more expensive? Well, here we go again. It's going to be more expensive, a lot more expensive. Number one. Number two. And if I bought them from a shop and they were the same, and a dude said in the comments they died in a week. They still die in a week. So I spend double, triple the money for it to die in the same space of time. Oh no, they be lasting a little bit longer. No, they don't. No, they don't. And even if they did, they better. I paid double and triple the price of them. Y'all continue to put a price. Y'all say, do this for me. A man goes and does it, and y'all say, it didn't meet the $80 threshold, so it don't mean anything. You didn't romance me like I would have liked to be romanced. You didn't give me a picnic. Well, I give you a picnic. Oh yeah, there's a picnic, but where's the Chardonnay? Ooh, where's the champagne? Oh, I just thought we'd have like a cute little picnic, some snacks, some dry. I got some alcohol right here. I got a little glass. Yeah, but this is basic. This is basic white wine. This is a basic red wine. What are you talking about? Just the entitlement of some modern women to be able to sit up here and talk about what men aren't and are not doing. To be the end all be all. To be the judge of everything. That's why men can't and have stopped trying to get past that barrier, because they sit up in here and say stupid stuff like y'all ain't doing romance right. I mean, I'm coming to you, try to talk to you, but you still clowning me like I did something wrong, like I approached you like I was a creep. And I just said, hey, my name is Derek. That's all I said. And you still clowning. You guys got to stop thinking that y'all are the only ones that know anything about love. Even though y'all be spreading y'all emotions and sharing y'all emotions, y'all are not the only ones out here that feel that are hurt when somebody breaks your heart. Y'all be thinking that men are robots. Losers.
I feel bad for men, and I know that's a crazy thing to open the video with, but I feel bad for men because the patriarchy's version of masculinity is usually just don't be a woman. And because of that, masculinity is so strict. It's so strict because anything that's not perceived as that kind of masculine is automatically seen as feminine, because it has this very black and white mindset. And I feel like if you subscribe to the patriarchy's version of masculinity, it limits your self-expression to the point where you are stuck being the same as everybody else. And you're constantly looking over your shoulder for validation, because you have to make sure that you are adhering to the kind of masculinity that other men agree is the correct version of masculinity. Because back in the day, masculinity included things like heels, it included things like makeup, it included things like wigs. I mean, if you look back even to the time of when George Washington was president, like you look back at old paintings and stuff, men are wearing heels, men are wearing fabulous outfits with all of these jewels and all that kinds of stuff on them, and men are wearing wigs and they're wearing makeup, and that's what masculinity used to look like at the time. And I feel like with something like masculinity or femininity, something that is a social construct and is ever evolving, to water it down to such a strict level of self-expression leaves a hollow place in the human soul, because we have to be creative. All humans are born to create something or another. They want to contribute, and to contribute is to create. And I feel that, and I'm not just talking about art, I'm talking about a bunch of different things. I mean, you can be a welder and create, you know, like stuff like something like that, just contributing, you know. We are a social species. And so for something like the patriarchy's version of masculinity to come about and to create such a small box for men to fit in, to the point where if they step outside that box a little bit, they're almost immediately cast out of connecting with other human beings. And also because they limit themselves to valuing the connection of only half the population. You're only allowed to value other men's opinion. Valuing a woman's opinion makes you a woman or makes you feminine. That's insane. You can't even connect with your entire species, except you limit the connection you have to the other half of the species, a woman, to something very simple, sex. And so if you are not connecting with the other half of the species in the way that your half of the species deems appropriate, then you're cast out of that half, and also you don't value the other half, so you are truly left alone. And then you have these people who are incels or red-pilled people who are just creating this very hateful manosphere of people who are truly lonely because they cannot gain the validation of one half of the population, and they are not allowed to be validated by the other half of the population except for on certain conditions. You are creating a space where you have to fit into this tiny little box, and if you don't fit into it in the right way, you only have like once or twice to slip up before you're just left alone. And so all of these brash actions and all of these constantly looking over the shoulder for other guys' validation is just it's sad to me, because you're in this situation where your lack of value for simple things like emotion, and let me just remind you that emotion is something we're born with. Babies laugh and cry. Those are like the two things they do. We're born with emotion inherently, and it's not fair, because it's not something that you chose to grow up in a world where they tell you that one of the two things that you're born doing is wrong to do. Like, men aren't allowed to cry. Babies laugh and they cry, and men aren't allowed to cry, and that is like the first thing you do when you're born. What? It's basic human instinct to do things like cry and laugh. And we're telling the patriarchy is telling half the population you're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to express a basic human instinct. Yeah, but then it's also kind of like, I also can't really feel bad for men, because y'all are the ones upholding this stuff. If enough men valued the opinion of women to listen to us and to understand when we tell you, hey, you're putting yourself in this box. Like, yes, other men say you have to be this way, but also explore for yourself and decide whether or not you can actually exist outside of that tiny little box of masculinity that the world has created. If you don't do enough self-exploration and exploration of the world, then you won't realize that, yes, there are spaces for men who are more emotional. Yes, there are spaces for soft men. Yes, there are spaces for men who express themselves in different ways, whether that be visually or, just in other ways. Like, if you don't ever do that exploration because you're too busy looking over your shoulder for validation from other men, then you're gonna miss it. You're gonna miss all the things you could have. You're gonna miss this entire special world that we're living in. Your favorite color might be pink, and you'd never know because you never tried on a pink shirt because you were too busy listening to all the other men around you. Step out of the box and try. You know, like, yes, there are judgmental women. Yes, there are homophobic women. Yes, there are women who don't do all of that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, you have to value your own opinion. And you also have to evaluate where your opinion is coming from. Because if your opinion of what's good, what's bad, what's right, and what's wrong when it comes to being a man is only based off of, like, what other men tell you and not your personal experience, then you're never going to know. What if you get upset and you cry one day and the person next to you comforts you instead of telling you to suck it up? Then you have an experience where you can say, well, not everybody says that men shouldn't cry. Some people are very accepting when a man cries. My boyfriend has cried before and I've allowed him to cry with me. I just held him through it. I allowed him to express that because it's healthy and it's natural. So yeah, there are people out there who not necessarily will allow it, but who accept it. Who understand that it's normal. Who are willing to be there for you. And honestly, I feel like a lot of men value women's opinions a lot more than they think because they're too busy trying to sleep with them. And so they're worried about whether or not a woman will find them attractive or a woman will want to sleep with them. And that's putting a woman's opinion of you pretty high. If that's something that you automatically think about. On your day-to-day. I don't know. But yeah. So to summarize all of that, I feel bad for men. And believe it or not, this whole rant was inspired by the new Superman movie, which I loved, by the way, if you can't tell. I wrote "Kindness is Punk" on my water bottle here. But because I have seen most of the men that I have seen who hated this movie thought that it was because Superman was too soft. Because he cried when a man was shot. Because he, was upset and was showing frustration. And, and they saw that as weak. And I feel bad because you are erasing so many things out of your life that are normal. Emotions that are normal. For the sake of what exactly? Because you wouldn't lose community if you showed those emotions. You would just find new community. In order to be loved for being yourself, you have to actually be yourself. So if you truly value wanting to be yourself and have people around you who value you for being yourself, then you need to actually be brave enough to be yourself. And the change won't happen overnight. You have to practice that. You have to push for that. You have to be consistent in being yourself until your community finds you. Put yourself in spaces with other people who are actually like you, and you will find other people who like you for who you are. It is scary. It's not easy. And I hope this reaches at least one man or one young man or one man my age who has been worried about this, worried about finding community if he was just to be himself or to express things he actually likes instead of trying to just fit in with everybody else. And I hope you're brave enough to try. That's all.
Somebody in the comments said the only consistent definition of masculinity is not feminine because it has no true affirmative definition, only a negating one. And that's even trickier. That's a gray area because depending on how these modern women feel, they'll deem something feminine and it wasn't even feminine in the first place. It's just how they feel about it. Oh, they're sassy. For getting a latte? What are we talking about here?